Well, YouTube, today I'm just doing a bunch of odds and ends. I just finished this up. I replaced the battery disconnect switch on the skidder. Not sure why, just one day I turned it on to start the skidder up and nothing, dead. So I replaced that and I found this on-off tag that I used to just, you can see the paint marks, maybe if the sun's off the glare. On-off, I wrote with a paint pen that's about wore off. Well, I found this tag, so now it's got a nice tag on there. Doing a couple battery disconnect switches actually. The skidder and then also the Peterbilt. When I shorted out the battery terminal because I only had one battery and then it came in contact with something I can't remember where, but and it shorted out. It melted one of the battery disconnects internally, and they were matched switches to begin with. So I got some more switches. So here's the switches. They're used, but I tested them. They all test out good. A buddy from work gave them to me. They were off a piece of equipment from one of his old jobs, and they were scrapping it. And he took the battery disconnect switches off. He gave me 3. One's on the skidder, and then 2 are here. And this is the other one off the skidder. This is the one that was bad. That doesn't look bad, but no connection internally. So, and then here's the good one that was the mismatched. This one I'm going to keep because this one is going to go on the log loader itself for the Savage. So every battery on the equipment will have a disconnect. So I'll have matching set for the Peterbilt, a matching one for the Clark, and then that one for the Savage. So I'll get these bolted up and then move on to the next project. All right, got the battery switches in. You see they're all face the same direction, so off is over there and on will be counterclockwise. It looks funny in the angle here. This one, the switch has got a, anyways, it works, but it's got a problem. The whole thing moves. But I cut these off. You can see the copper here for now. So originally this was designed for 4 batteries. I'm gonna do 2 of these 4Ds and make a new bracket eventually to where these both fit in here really nice. Come out here a little bit more and use angle iron and suck all this flat again. But the way I got it now is these are your positive. So I'll have 2. I cut the squirrel. Huh? What I did was cut the bad ends off. So I'll have, the 2 positives will be like this, positive, positive. Then the negative comes around, and then this negative will also come around just like that. So actually it's upside down, it'll be like that. So all terminals. So it should work out great. So that's done with this battery box for right now anyhow. The next thing I want to do today is I'm gonna start messing around with this old welder that I bought. It's in a little bit worse shape than what I thought it was. But I drove, about an hour, almost an hour and a half to pick it up, and for $75 I couldn't pass it up even if it doesn't run. I figure the leads were worth that. I mean, they're about 30, one's about 30, the other one's about 35 feet long. So that battery's toast. This thing's set in a field for a couple of years. The guy told me that it would fire on if you put gas in the carburetor. But I mean, you never know with people like, you just don't know unless you really see it for yourself. It looks clean in there, but their gas cap's rotted off. And actually it tipped over on my way home and tore a hole in it. but it's pretty thin, so, which is fine because I'll just pull this fuel tank, and if I get it running and make sure it welds, I'll just buy a nice, you know, gallon or 2 gallon plastic gas can like what the air compressor has, and you know, be willing to put a little bit of money into it. But for now, I just want to see if I can get it to fire. It has compression when I spun it over by hand, not a lot, but also, you know, valves could be a little rusty, you know, no oil on the rings, who knows. So I want to get the first things first is this battery out and see if I can get the cables to reach down to put the battery below it, because this one has the marine style on it. And if it works, I have no problem masking it off and painting it. In fact, that's one thing I want to do to this too, is repaint this back to what it would be factory, and then I could repaint this back at the same time. It'd be kind of a fun project to do, so look better than rust anyhow. So I guess if I get this battery apart, I'll update you guys. Okay, I got took a little wire brush here and cleaned up the terminal ends and got them vice gripped on there. So now we will see we'll see if we can get this thing running, or if at least not run. So oh, I did cut the fuel line too, just in case, so then if there was any fuel that wouldn't suck in a bunch of rust and water. But there ain't anything coming out, which is good. There is some stuff in the fuel tank, but there's a valve, and I'm wondering if the valve is closed, which would be great. Best case scenario. Anyway, so there's 2 run and start, and then these, so I don't really know if these are where these are supposed to be or what. So okay, nothing. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Well, we got something. So now, I guess we can shoot her with some starting fluid. There is an on-off. It's in the run position, the on position. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see, there's not much left in here. Let's see if it'll at least try. Man, that blew a bunch of crap all over me with the air filter off. Smart. Awesome. Well, now we at least know we got spark, and now maybe I can see if I can get some fuel to it. One thing I should add is I should probably check the oil before even trying to run it. Oh, it looks like it's full with doesn't have any signs of moisture. Huh. Okay, that's good. I can get the cap on, that'd be great. Cool. All right. Okay, see some bubbles coming up here. Looks like it's taking it. This is my homemade fuel tank. Sketchy as all heck. See a little bit of what looks like moisture in there. Squeeze it a little bit, see if I can get some fuel in the bulb. Okay, it was about full to where my thumb's at, so it should be ready to go. Okay, I just poured some gas down the carburetor. We got our fuel tank here. Let's see if she starts. Definitely gonna need a little bit more tinkering. Let's see. Well, I definitely think it's got some sort of fuel issue here where I need to rebuild the carb, or maybe a stuck float. Not sure this is the choke, but it starts all right, and then pretty much instantly dies. And then it'll run for a while. I'm gonna check, make sure the choke's not on. And there it goes. So it's either got a fuel supply issue, or yeah, or maybe the choke's on. Okay, well, there's a sign here. I put the spring, I took the choke lever off. It says choke with an arrow pointed up, which this way I would assume would be choke. So I just put the spring on it to hold this back. Maybe it just had the choke on. That was the only reason why it wouldn't run. Well, I'm not getting anywhere. When I shut the choke off, it pretty much dies right out. Like, it needs more fuel. Definitely thinking it's running lean, so that's why it only runs with the choke on and then it runs out of fuel. Could be that I don't have a vent in there, even though I open it up every time before I start the video and make sure any vacuums in there's gone, but there's like nothing anyways. I'm thinking I probably got a stuck float or needle valve, you know. But I guess that's it for tonight. It runs, so that's further than I was earlier. But I'm excited to get it all cleaned up and running. I'm not sure if I'm going to mount it in here. If I do, it'll be obviously spun around and probably mounted behind the crane because it's already unusable space here. If I put it over here, it makes it even that much more narrow in here to be able to put stuff. So I'll probably just spin her down, put it there, and then hardwire it into right there, and get rid of the battery. So, and just like that's what I did with the air compressor too. It's underneath this wire. I spliced into it right here. That's this one, comes up to the starter. So I might just do that. But anyways, so there's definitely a mouse nest in there. See it puking all that crap out, which is definitely not good to see a mouse nest. But who knows what they chewed up in there. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because I don't even know if it welds yet. So one step at a time, I guess.